Unexpected moments often arrive when life feels most predictable. One minute you're moving through the same routine, checking notifications, answering messages, and thinking about the day ahead. The next, something unusual catches your attention and pulls you out of that familiar rhythm. It isn't necessarily a grand announcement or a life-changing event at first glance. Sometimes it's simply an idea, an opportunity, or a possibility that appears when you least expect it. Those are the moments that make people stop and wonder what might happen if they choose to look a little closer. The most fascinating stories rarely begin with certainty. They begin with curiosity, with a feeling that something different is unfolding just beyond the edge of ordinary life. For a brief moment, the distractions fade and imagination takes over. You begin to picture a future that looks different from today, one shaped by decisions you have not yet made and paths you have not yet explored. Every successful journey starts with a single moment of attention, a willingness to consider that new opportunities can emerge from unexpected places. Whether that opportunity becomes something meaningful depends on what happens next. Doubt may encourage you to move on, while curiosity invites you to stay and discover more. The truth is that remarkable experiences are often hidden within ordinary days, waiting for someone to recognize them. Sometimes the biggest change begins not with certainty, but with the simple decision to explore a possibility that wasn't there a moment ago. The world's most daring innovator, the man who turned private spaceflight into a bedtime headline, built electric cars most couldn't even imagine, and has put humanity's next home somewhere beyond the stars. He's chosen you for something private, something nobody else gets to see. Yet, it's all on a timer. Vanishing. Right now. Feels impossible? That's what makes it all the more irresistible, doesn't it? Think back for a second. When was the last time something happened to you that you couldn't explain? A chance, a gut feeling, a hunch that there was more to your life than the endless swipe, the same 24-hour routine. Sometimes, it feels like the entire universe is begging you to look up, just once, to catch the signal hiding in the noise. This moment, this message, it's one of those signals. But unlike every other notification, every other ping meant to steal your focus without giving you anything back, this one isn't demanding attention for nothing. It's promising something deeper, a personal surprise, and a fleeting window to what comes next, and it has your name on it. Let that settle in your chest for a second. The truth is, moments like this rarely come wrapped in neon. The world sells you distraction but never meaning. This, right now, is different. Your reaction, your decision, what you choose next, these seconds will either blend in with the noise, forgotten before the next scroll, or stand out as the start of something you never saw coming. And it all hinges on whether you lean in or turn away. People say opportunity knocks, but it rarely does. Most of the time, it whispers. And today, it chose to whisper to you in the wildest way possible, by placing your story in the direct line of sight of the world's ultimate risk-taker. Pause with that for a heartbeat. So, why you? Why now? What cosmic algorithm, what flicker of intent pushed this moment into your hands? Maybe you've doubted yourself, maybe you've played small, told yourself you're just one of millions. What if, for once, one of the millions has been targeted, intentionally, purposefully, for a reason that's about to become clear? You see, Elon Musk doesn't run from the impossible, he runs toward it. Every revolutionary step he's taken looked ridiculous to someone, and yet, he takes them, and each decision, each risk, is a rebuke to the quiet, numbing doubt that says, wait for later, wait to be ready, wait for certainty. Because certainty is for those content with ordinary. Surprises, they're for those who dare to respond before their chance evaporates. Pause again. I want you to sink into the feeling that, right now, you are teetering on a threshold. For most people, this is the end of the story. They ignore the nudge. They let the clock run out, like blinking when the magic is about to happen. But you haven't blinked. You're still here, still listening, still wondering. That matters more than you think. Most do not reach this point. Even fewer stay. So if you're here, waiting, on the edge of your seat, let's go a little deeper. Let's pull the curtain back just enough to see what's waiting for you. If you have the courage not to flinch, not to look away, not to let this expire. This is the test that separates repeaters from exceptions. The watchers from the doers. In the very act of staying with this message, ignoring your urge to click away, you're taking the first tiny step that most never take. Because they confuse the loud with the meaningful. You just might sense the difference. You felt the shift. The air got heavier. The glow of your screen feels different, almost alive. You can feel anticipation crawling up your spine. Here's the truth Elon Musk discovered long ago, and what this private surprise is all about. The most important invitations don't explain themselves right away. They test you. They dare you to trust, to move, to respond, long before you see the reward. The secret? The only way to win is to answer before the timer runs out. Let yourself sit with that thought. Opportunity that is clear and safe rarely changes anyone's life. It's the surprise, the risk, the "I'll find out what this really means" that transforms ordinary into unforgettable. So, as this message keeps ticking, as your curious anxiety grows, know this isn't just some digital stunt or clever viral trick. It's a mirror. Every second you stay, you show yourself something rare, that you're different, that you're ready for the surprise, the story, the leap that your old self would have scrolled past. What would Elon send you right now if he believed in you more than you believed in yourself? There's still time, barely. Let's find out together. You're still here. That alone makes you rare. Seriously. Most would have let curiosity give way to habit, already drifted back into the noise. But you can feel the possibility hanging in the air, can't you? Like standing in the dark before sunrise, knowing something's about to shift. Let's draw you in a little closer. Picture this. Elon Musk at his desk, the weight of Mars missions and gigafactories swirling around him, and there, in a quiet moment, he reviews a list, not of VIPs or billionaires, but of ordinary, everyday people who show uncommon potential. Some moments arrive so quietly that they almost escape notice, yet they carry the power to alter the direction of a life. Out of countless faces, countless stories, and countless people moving through the world, something has drawn attention toward you, not because of luck, status, or coincidence, but because a possibility has appeared at your doorstep. The real question isn't why it happened, it's what comes next. Many people encounter opportunities disguised as strange ideas, unexpected invitations, or fleeting instincts, and immediately dismiss them. They return to familiar routines, convincing themselves that nothing important has changed. Years later, they often find themselves standing in the same place, wondering what might have happened if they had been a little braver. Yet every meaningful transformation begins with a decision to explore what lies beyond certainty. History is filled with individuals who stepped forward without guarantees, choosing curiosity over comfort and action over hesitation. They weren't given special permission, nor did they wait for perfect conditions. They simply trusted that a different future could exist if they were willing to move toward it. The most remarkable discovery is not hidden in some secret reward or dramatic revelation. It is the realization that you have the freedom to choose a new direction whenever you decide to. You can pursue the ideas that excite you, challenge the limits you've accepted, and write a story that feels authentically yours. The truth is that life's defining moments rarely announce themselves. More often, they appear quietly, waiting to see whether you'll recognize their value before they pass by. Not at all. They're cloaked, disguised as uncertainties and impossible timing. If it felt safe, everyone would leap. But right now, you're trembling on the edge of safety and greatness. Breathe in. If you're waiting for certainty, you'll be waiting forever. Think about Elon. He's crashed rockets. He's been days away from bankruptcy. He's had the world mock his ambition, scoff at his dreams, even call him delusional. But while the world was busy doubting, he was busy deciding, building. That's what separates myth from mediocrity. Acting now, no matter how small the first step. This is that moment, if you let it be. But only if you let it be. Let the what-ifs go. Right now is your crossroad. One path is comfort, safe but silent, easy but empty. The other, it's mystery and risk, and the faint pulse of destiny beneath it all. You don't need to understand how you were picked. You don't need proof. The only evidence you need is your own attention. Your decision to stay in this tension, this moment, a little longer, even as the message flickers and threatens to disappear for good. Let's be honest. Every day, thousands of people wonder why their lives have stalled, why nothing feels different, why success always seems just out of reach. The truth is simple. Most people hesitate. They blink. They scroll. They choose old comfort over new adventure. They wouldn't have made it here, where you are now. So let yourself feel the difference. Notice the way your heart beats like it wants something more. That spark in your chest is the tiniest voice, long ignored, finally convinced to speak up. Listen to it. Trust it for once. It's not easy, but it's real. You keep waiting for someone to hand you the sign, don't you? Well, this is it. Every person who ever changed their future had a moment of unreasonable faith. Faith in their own restlessness. Faith in the sign that only they could see. You have every rational reason to ignore this. But none of the greats honor rational reasons. They honor the courage to say, why not me? Why not you? Let's travel a little further down this rabbit hole. Say, tonight, you accept Elon's invitation. You open his message. And at first, it's vague, deliberately unclear. But every word, every second, is a test. The test isn't if you're smart enough, or technical enough, or even talented enough. It's if you're brave enough to acknowledge that your story gets to change tonight. Because most people, even after they're chosen, they disqualify themselves. Not ready, probably a mistake, another scam. So they close the door before it even opens. But you haven't closed yours. What does a private surprise from Elon Musk look like? It looks like a pathway only you can walk, if you dare. A challenge that's never been done, at least not by you. An invitation to ride the edge of your own comfort, long enough for your real self to break through. You don't need more time. You need more belief. The only thing separating your current life from the one you crave is how you treat the moments you can't explain. Trust the pull you feel right now. Most people never do. That's why most people never know what it feels like to be chosen for real. The surprise is what happens in you when you answer. Even if you can't see the finish line, even if you don't have all the details, just a feeling, undeniable, sharp, rare, a secret momentum, a few seconds left on the clock. Are you in? Are you out? Are you about to step into the script that was waiting with your name on it? Your answer, not your explanation, but your answer, is what comes next, that you're still listening. That quiet pulse of anticipation hasn't faded, it's grown louder. Maybe you're starting to get it now. The real surprise isn't an email, or a message, or even Elon Musk's name flashing across your screen. The real surprise is about what you decide in these uncertain minutes. It's about whether you prove to yourself, maybe for the first time, that your gut is worth following, even if nothing makes sense, even if everyone else would tell you to play it safe. And that's exactly the point. Safe is silent. Remarkable moments rarely arrive with flashing lights or grand announcements. More often, they appear quietly, disguised as ordinary opportunities that most people overlook while staying comfortably within familiar routines. Across the world, countless individuals spend their days waiting for the perfect sign, convincing themselves that tomorrow will be a better time to take action. Yet there are always a few who sense that meaningful change begins the moment hesitation ends. Imagine viewing your life from a distance, as though it were the defining chapter of an unforgettable story. Every compelling journey reaches a point where an unexpected message, encounter, or decision changes everything. The difference is not the opportunity itself, but whether the person chooses to recognize it. History is filled with people who embraced uncertainty when certainty was nowhere to be found. Visionaries, innovators, and dreamers moved forward not because success was guaranteed, but because standing still felt less acceptable than taking the risk. Their achievements were built on moments that looked insignificant at first glance, but later proved transformational. Perhaps that is why life's greatest possibilities rarely announce themselves in obvious ways. They emerge through instinct, curiosity, and the willingness to step beyond what feels predictable. While many search endlessly for a dramatic revelation, the truth is often far simpler. The next meaningful chapter does not begin when every answer is available. It begins when someone decides to move forward despite the unknown. Sometimes the opportunity people are waiting for is not somewhere ahead of them. It is already unfolding in the present moment, waiting to be recognized. In your racing mind, that's finally, beautifully restless. Most people wait for a reason. Few realize that meaning is made, not handed down. So, what if you leaned all the way in? Said yes before you could talk yourself out of it? Here's the real question. If you knew this was your moment, how much more would you risk? How much farther would you go? Let the tension linger for a second. If you've ever wondered if you're enough, if it's too late, if the universe passed you by, remember, tonight, right now, the spotlight swivels your way. Every fact says you should keep scrolling, but every instinct, every flicker of hope says maybe you're the exception at last. Imagine if you stopped apologizing for your ambition, if the what if became what now. This is where the average story ends. Too many people quit the second the path gets foggy. They want clarity, guarantees, applause. But those never come before the leap. They come after, the second you risk being misunderstood. Being first. Contrast framing. You could fade back into the anonymity you've always known. Or you could step forward into the story the world wished it had dared to write for itself. Pause with that. Now, right here, is the inflection point. The ordinary gets burned away by a few seconds of unreasonable courage. The next milliseconds decide everything, whether you'll forget this message or remember it as the moment you quit living from habits and started living from hope. Want to know what Elon's private surprise actually looks like? It looks like this. A challenge meant only for people who keep showing up, who outlast their own doubts, who stay 5 seconds longer than the rest. People willing to see themselves not as spectators, but as the main event. Real opportunity is never transactional. It's transformational. It's never reply with your email to win. It's the far more valuable prize. A door you only realize exists when you stop assuming you're stuck. Stop living on autopilot. Every person to ever change their life, every single one, felt what you're feeling right now. The mixture of terror and thrill, the uncertainty, the strange sense that fate is making an exception tonight. Let the hush fall over you. The timer ticks down. Here is the crossroad. You keep waiting for the world to invite you to greatness, but tonight, greatness is knocking. Impossibly quiet, brilliantly rare, impossibly fleeting. Don't check out now. This isn't about getting chosen, it's about choosing yourself back. That's the real invitation. Elon didn't just notice you, he created a challenge that only the bold respond to. A private surprise you earn, not by answering a question, but by answering the moment. Right now, the only thing you really need to do is stay. Stay in the possibility before doubt wins. Stay in the hope before habit drags you away. Stay in the room long enough for the doors to widen and the invisible to become obvious. Because this isn't about Elon Musk, deep down. It's about the version of yourself that's wanted something more for too long and has finally been given a reason to say yes, loudly, finally, unmistakably. Every alarm in your mind is sounding, it's just a story, it's hype, it couldn't really be for me. But you're here, and that means the surprise is still alive, for you, for now. You're still listening. That quiet pulse of anticipation hasn't faded, it's grown louder. Maybe you're starting to get it now. The real surprise isn't an email, or a message, or even Elon Musk's name flashing across your screen. The real surprise is about what you decide in these uncertain minutes. It's about whether you prove to yourself, maybe for the first time, that your gut is worth following, even if nothing makes sense, even if everyone else would tell you to play it safe. And that's exactly the point. Safe is silent. Safe is invisible. Safe never gets the surprise. Picture the rest of the world right now. Millions, scrolling past, soothing their curiosity with distraction, making excuses, and telling themselves, it's never really my time. But you, still here, you're proof that not everyone needs convincing. Some just need permission to act. Let's step outside your everyday life, just for a minute. If you zoom out and look at your story as if it's a movie, what kind of plot twist would this be? The protagonist receives a message so unlikely, so strange, that any ordinary character would dismiss it and miss their turning point. Are you going to be ordinary, or are you ready to let the next scene unfold? Elon Musk knows something about plot twists. Every step he's ever taken, from coding games as a kid, to betting his last dollars on SpaceX and Tesla, to risking global mockery for dreams bigger than anyone dared say aloud. He's lived in the tension of now or never. The greats don't act because it's safe, they act because it's necessary, because time is never on your side. Breathe in again, listen to the quiet between the words. That's opportunity whispering instead of shouting. Maybe you expect this is where the secret gets revealed. Strangely enough, the moment you've been waiting for may not arrive with fanfare, certainty, or some dramatic revelation. More often, life's most meaningful turning points appear quietly, disguised as ordinary seconds that ask for an extraordinary decision. The truth is that the opportunity you seek isn't hiding somewhere in the future. It is unfolding right now, within every restless thought, every lingering question, and every spark of determination that refuses to disappear. While many people spend years searching for purpose, the ones who move forward discover that purpose is created through action, not delivered as a reward. Imagine what could change if you trusted yourself before having all the answers. How far would you push beyond your comfort zone if you believed this chapter could redefine everything? For countless people, uncertainty becomes a stop sign, but growth has never required perfect visibility. The road ahead rarely comes with guarantees, applause, or approval. Those rewards tend to arrive only after someone dares to move despite the doubt. You can choose the familiar path, remaining where expectations are small and risks are few, or you can step into something larger, accepting that every meaningful journey begins before confidence catches up. This is the space where transformation starts, not through luck, but through courage that lasts a few moments longer than fear. The difference between standing still and moving forward is often measured in a single decision. Perhaps the real challenge is not whether you are capable, but whether you are willing to believe that your next step matters enough to take it. Real opportunity is never transactional, it's transformational. It's never reply with your email to win. It's the far more valuable prize, a door you only realize exists when you stop assuming you're stuck, stop living on autopilot. Every person to ever change their life, every single one, felt what you're feeling right now. The mixture of terror and thrill, the uncertainty, the strange sense that fate is making an exception tonight. Let the hush fall over you. The timer ticks down. Here is the crossroad. You keep waiting for the world to invite you to greatness, but tonight, greatness is knocking, impossibly quiet, brilliantly rare, impossibly fleeting. Don't check out now. This isn't about getting chosen, it's about choosing yourself back. That's the real invitation. Elon didn't just notice you, he created a challenge that only the bold respond to, a private surprise you earn, not by answering a question, but by answering the moment. Right now, the only thing you really need to do is stay. Stay in the possibility before doubt wins. Stay in the hope before habit drags you away. Stay in the room long enough for the doors to widen and the invisible to become obvious. Because this isn't about Elon Musk, deep down. It's about the version of yourself that's wanted something more for too long and has finally been given a reason to say yes. Loudly, finally, unmistakably. Every alarm in your mind is sounding, it's just a story, it's hype, it couldn't really be for me. But you're here. And that means the surprise is still alive. For you. For now. You haven't left. Not yet. And that, more than anything else, is a sign you're ready for the last layer of this message. The one most people never hear. Let's slow down. Truly pause for a breath. Let the tension of all you've heard so far settle in your chest. The invitation hasn't disappeared yet. It's still right here, holding out its hand, but it won't wait forever, and you know it. Every great story, every impossibly lucky turn, started with someone just like you hesitating at the threshold. It's uncomfortable, this raw possibility. Most people talk themselves out of it. They tell themselves, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year. Life's too busy, I'll get another shot. But deep down, they're haunted by what they didn't do, not by what they tried and failed. Let yourself feel the weight of that. The only true failure is inaction. The only risk greater than stepping forward is standing still. Now, just imagine. You see Elon's message glowing on your screen. You open it, and for a moment, time seems to pause. It's quiet, almost sacred. There's no secret code, no golden ticket. Instead, there's a challenge. It's not about money or fame. It's about agency, about unlocking that ultra-rare state of mind where permission isn't needed, only action. Maybe the words are simple. Maybe they just say, all you need is now. Take one impossible step. You think of every time you waited for the universe to make its move, every time you stood back, telling yourself the clock wasn't ticking yet. But the clock was always ticking, wasn't it? Every second is a disappearing chance. This is your wake-up call, not just from Elon, not just from the cosmos, but from yourself, from the part of you that's been buried beneath routine and noise and expectation. The message is simple. The surprise isn't really what Elon can give you. It's what you can become if you step forward. Contrast everything you're feeling right now, the nervousness, the desperation for certainty, the growing hunger for change, with everything you'll feel if you don't try. What's scarier, risking something new, or missing the moment that would have made you alive again? Because here's the real twist. Most people don't fail from lack of opportunity. They fail from hesitation, from silence, from waiting for someone to make their story begin. That's the tragedy playing in every city, every office, every crowded party. People who almost took the step but told themselves, not me, not yet. maybe someone else. You can choose to let this message expire. You can file it away as a curiosity, a story for another day. Or you can do what the rare, the bold, the once-in-a-generation do. Say yes first. Act first. Move even if you have to carry your doubts with you. Pause. Really breathe that in. Don't look for a map. The map is made one step at a time. Did you ever stop and think that maybe Elon isn't choosing you to test what you know? He's testing what you're willing to find out. The surprise? That nobody else gets to write the next chapter for you? How many years have you waited for a turning point? How many birthdays or New Year's nights have ended with a silent vow to finally do something different, only to wake up and live the same pattern the next day? That ends now, if you want it. There's something bigger waiting, not in some far-off tomorrow, but here, right now, where the noise drops away, and all that's left is you, a choice, and a timer. Perhaps the most important moment in life is not when someone notices you, chooses you, or hands you an opportunity. It is the moment you decide that your future is worth pursuing, even without certainty. The message before you was never really about another person or some outside validation. It was about the quiet decisions that have been waiting in the background of your life. The conversation you have avoided, the dream you postponed, the idea you kept tucked away because the timing never seemed perfect. So many people spend years waiting for confidence to arrive before they take action, not realizing that confidence is usually the result of action, not the cause of it. Real change begins when you move forward despite the doubt. The difference between a life that grows and a life that remains unchanged often comes down to a few courageous seconds when someone chooses to act instead of retreat. Others may dismiss this as simple motivation, but every meaningful achievement begins with a decision that once felt uncomfortable. The fact that you are still paying attention to this thought means something. It suggests a willingness to consider a different path, one where you stop waiting for permission and start trusting your own judgment. There may never be a perfect sign, a flawless plan, or a guaranteed outcome. What exists is possibility. The greatest surprise is not that an opportunity appears, it is discovering that you have the ability to create one. As you move forward, leave behind hesitation and step into the story that only you can write. The next chapter begins the moment you choose it.